Hello guys, so welcome to KO Tutorials. So let's continue with the next part of this tutorial. So let's get started. So as you can see over here, we have assigned some lights over here from this particular angle. So we'll be continuing this rover tutorial over here. That's a lender. So I have placed one camera over here. Let's go into the perspective, and from this view I'll just rotate this. If you want, I can just make this as V-Ray IPR. I'll just activate the V-Ray IPR if needed over here to see it. So I can just select this, and if you want, I can slightly increase the temperature. So I can just make it to around 2 over here, and I'll be directly, focusing on this particular area on the lender. Let's go over here and let's make it as 1.5. With that, again, I'll just go over here. If you want, you can just scale this. You can just scale this. And let's mirror it. So I'll just mirror it in y-axis over here. So I can just focus this over here on top of it. So if you want, you can just activate the target. And I'll go into this. I'll just off this decay and all this, and you can slightly reduce the intensity of the light. And if you want, you can slightly shuffle this, slightly rotate it in this way from this angle. And if you want, you can just increase this. So if we increase this, this is going to be, so this up, we are going to keep this as a fill over here. So I have off this, the shadows and everything. So we have just activated the light section over here. Alright. So if you want, you can just render it once and see how it looks like. You can just render it. So now we have assigned this two lights over here right now. So let's again go into this, go into rendering, go into environment, and we can add a bit of V-Ray exposure control over here. So we can just go into this again, activate this V-Ray IPR, and into the exposure control we can add this variations. We can give some variations over here if needed. So shutter speed, you can just render this once. The lights are very high, so we can slightly reduce the lights if needed. So I'll just go over here and I'll just make this as 1 over here. Resolution, I'll increase this to 1024. Let's go to rendering, go into render setup, and if you want to use an HDRI over here, you can go with that. So I'll just go over here and you can increase this. If you make this as HD, if you want to go with the custom, so if you see this over here in this way and render it a bit bigger, the lights are still very high. So let's again go into the render setup. Let's go into the V-Ray image filter. We can just check out the settings. Noise, I'll just reduce the noise over here. Environment, in that I have used a GI. So if you want to use some other environment, if you put some image in the GI map, you see that's going to be a bit darker. So if you want, you can just make it more of a yellowish if needed. Color mapping, I'll keep it as exponential over here. And into the irritants map, I can just increase this. Cache, slightly increase it. Alright. You can slightly increase the light intensity if you are working with such stuff now. So let's go over here and let's increase the light, and from here also slightly increase the light over here. So you can just go over here and you can use a bit of target if needed, or slightly I'll just shuffle this. Okay, so I can just slightly give a bit of light from this axis, or you can just reduce it if needed. So I'll just make it to 1.4. Just save the file. Again, let's see how it's going to look like. Alright. So although we have a sign, and if you want one more light to be shown over here, we can do that. So I have just activated this. If you off the GI, going to be look a bit different. Push towards more white color. So let's go into the environment part. Drag this over here, and if needed we can try with one main light. Its intensity is 1.4. This is 2. Okay. So go into this environment and you can just drag a light in the bitmap if needed, but it's going to make it more darker. So let's just remove this from here, and instead of that I'll just push it towards more of a whitish color. Okay, looks better now. So make sure the elements are properly visible whenever you are doing such stuff. So we need to work with the lights. So the things are like shuffle this up. Alright. Looks better now. And if you think you want to put some more lights, you can go with that. So okay, just go over here. I'll put one light from this axis, and if you want you can just mirror it, one more light in the x-axis and drag it from here. So that can also be done. Okay, so that is going to be correctly, visible, the elements in the scene. But make sure you just keep this light settings very less. Cast shadows, I'll off it, double sided, no decay. Alright. So guys, if any doubts, please put it in the comment section over here. So please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. So as you can see, we can render it. If needed, we can just slightly reduce the lights. So thanks for watching this tutorial.